Hey girl, hey. Okay, so this is Dr. Tasha, and I just wanted to make sure that I had like all of my ducks in a row when I came to y'all because I so often hear about these B12 shots. Doc, I'm going to get my B12 shot. I'm going to get my B12 shot. I'm on this medication. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm going to get my B12 shot. My metabolism, my energy, and it's going to help me lose weight. Okay, well, let me turn this down a little bit because it sounds like it's a little loud. A little feedback. Okay, good. So I have real issues with it in terms of please don't let me hate on your B12 shot. If you love your B12 shot, do what you got to do. Like, I'm just trying to educate you. A lot of what people feel when it comes to the B12 injection is what we call placebo effect. And placebo effect is really like that's how we do like research studies. Like I might give you a shot of something that's water, and I'll give you a shot of the real medication, and you like, oh yeah, I do feel better, girl. That was water. But again, it's what we call placebo effect, right? And so a lot of times it's how we can kind of play on people's minds sometimes too. Now, the B12 shot, and I'm gonna break it all the way down for y'all. You could do what you want to do what you're comfortable doing. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't like the fact that a lot of like medical centers and even some doctors' offices, it's a money grab. A lot of the time. So first of all, when we talk about B12, people think that a little bit of vitamins is good. So a lot of vitamins is great. No, you can overshoot things just like you can undershoot things. And at the end of the day, it's very hard to overshoot vitamin B12. And we'll talk about it. But the only way, and it's what we call a water soluble vitamin. It's readily made in the body. It helps with DNA production. It helps with making of the red blood cells, and it helps with your nerve cells. Your nerve cells. That's what it helps with. Those are the three things that it helps with. Um, when it comes to vitamin B12, you can find it in a lot of sources, but it's in meat, it's in dairy, it's in fish, it's in eggs, it's in nutritional yeast, and some fortified foods, like it's in some cereals. But it's readily in your diet. There are only a few people who really should be deficient in vitamin B12, and those are like plant based vegans. Like, we got these raggedy vegans. No disrespect to the vegan population, but some of y'all is a little bit raggedy. But the ones who are really plant based, the ones who are really just like making vegetables and boiling green stuff and eating leeks and all that kind of fancy stuff. Yeah, y'all can be deficient in vitamin B12 because again, you're not doing eggs, you're not doing meat, you're not doing fish. So a lot of the things that you don't do, cereals and different things like that, a lot of those things you may be missing some B12. So a B12 supplement, and whether you knew it or not, whether you take a tablet, capsules, or an injection, which we'll talk about the shortcomings of the injection or the shot, your body uses it all the same way. So the shot is no better than vitamin B12 supplements that you're taking, and they're cheaper and safer, but we'll get into that. So there's only really going to be a few people, those people, and then you have a couple of types of anemias, and they're very difficult to explain. It's not your regular anemia. People think anemia is anemia. No, you have iron deficiency anemia, but then you have another type of anemia. One is called megaloblastic anemia, the other one is called pernicious anemia. Now, if you have one of those two anemias, yup, vitamin B12 is going to be your girl, okay? But if you don't, and those are the people who should be taking it. Also, people who have gastric bypass, not the gastric sleeve, the gastric bypass, because they're bypassing the part of the gut that actually makes the vitamin B12. So those people are going to be deficient in vitamin B12, right? So you got your vegans, some vegetarians, but you got your vegans, because I know some vegetarians who be eating bacon, but we ain't gonna talk about that. That's for another podcast, another day. But some vegetarians and vegans, you have people who have pernicious anemia, megaloblastic anemia, and then you have the people who have had gastric sleeve or gastric bypass, or people who generally have a B12 deficiency, which is very, 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 very rare. Okay, so people are like, oh, let me get your B12 shot, girl. First of all, what is my B12? Probably normal. Now, here's the gag. If you don't hear anything this whole video, here's what I want you to hear. Y'all ready? Okay. If you do not have a B12 deficiency, B12 is not going to help you. If your B12 is normal, you can take all the supplements in the world, all the shots in the world, you're not going to feel any different. The only way you're going to feel different with vitamin B12 is if your B12 is low. and then you're taking the B12 supplements, and literally you have to get like infusions every day to get it up to normal, right? But if you are not, if that's not what you're doing, or if you don't actually have a deficiency, you won't feel anything. So if you're like, oh yeah, I feel, it's what we call placebo effect, unless you truly have a low vitamin B12. And if you like, I want the shot, but I don't really know if I want to, have your doctor draw your B12, and I promise you, it's gonna be normal. Probably 95, 99% of the population, normal B12. But anyway, lest we digress, because we ain't no haters around here, but we will inform you. Now, you say, well, how do I know I have a vitamin B12 deficiency? What are my symptoms? Let me bust them off for you. If you have difficulty thinking and remembering, I got that, but my B12 is fine. Fatigue, I got that too. Heart palpitation, pale skin, and interestingly enough, weight loss, but they give you the B12 shot because you need to lose, it's going to help you lose weight. No, when you have a deficiency, weight loss, infertility, and numbness and tingling of your hands and feet. Because why? B12 has a lot to do with the neurological system, your nerves. We said that earlier. So again, B12, getting B12 supplementation is not going to help you if your B12 is normal. I don't like that they try to sell people and be like, oh, get your B12, you need some energy, you need your metabolism, help your metabolism. And you look, I read online, it said it helps with metabolism, but always look, those, because I read the same thing, but at the same time, those websites are pharma websites, they're compounding websites. Those are sites that are going to benefit from the sale of, if you actually look up the National Institute of Health, you look up the Mayo Clinic, you look up reputable sites, it's like we've done a lot of research, but there's nothing to show that the B12 is going to help with your energy levels. So I just want y'all to be very cognizant of that. Now, if you have one of these anemias, or you truly have a deficiency and the B12 is helping your deficiency, then yeah, you're going to feel better because you got a problem and it's fixing your problem. But it's not like random, let me just hit this vitamin B12 because, girl, my energy is low. More likely to be vitamin D, more likely to be a zinc deficiency. But probably not your B12. Now, what are the benefits of vitamin B12? If you are taking B12 shots, here are some of the benefits if you need them. It's going to decrease your risk of heart disease, decrease your risk of stroke, decrease any neurological disorders. It helps with your thinking and your memory. It helps with vision loss. It helps with infertility. It helps with neural tube defects in children that were born to people with a vitamin B12 deficiency. If you had a B12 deficiency, it's going to affect the spine and the neurological system of your baby. So it's very important that we know what our levels are, but very, 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 very rarely are those levels going to be deficient or any of the things like that. And again, it does not benefit you if your levels are normal. If your levels are low, oh, it's going to be hell of a benefit. But if not, girl, and so, or boy, child, please. Now, again, it's not really like, oh, I took too much B12. Now, you can, but your levels would have to be real, 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 real high. But at the end of the day, you can have toxicity, of overdose or whatever. But again, you really don't see that. What you see more than anything is side effects. So you can have side effects within it. It's a vitamin. No, you can have side effects from the injection. And obviously, there's pain at the injection site. You can have some mild diarrhea. You can have like a swelling sensation in your body, like you just feel swollen and bloated. And you can also have like some itching of your skin, which will go away. In rare cases, yes, you can get anaphylaxis because we can be allergic to anything. You can be allergic to something that is compounded with. You could be allergic to something that is mixed with. You don't necessarily know. You can develop pulmonary edema. I don't know how that works. I don't really understand the mechanism of the pulmonary edema with the vitamin B12 side effect, or but I don't know. But yeah, that's what they say. Congestive heart failure. So it sounds like it can make you somehow develop either like difficulty excreting fluid or increased propensity to produce fluid. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not even gonna lie and say I understand the mechanism because I don't, and I'm not about to delve into a textbook for pages and pages and pages to figure out why B12 causes these things, or it can cause these things. But again, it's rare, but you are at risk also for peripheral vascular thrombosis, which is blood clots. Okay, so be understood that nothing is without consequence. Yes, it can have severe risk. It can have severe risk. It can have minor risks. And at the end of the day, what you get from the pill you also get from the shot. The shot is an intramuscular shot, so it is a deep shot. So if you getting them and you getting them on these little small needles, child, that's just going in the fat in your arm. That ain't doing nothing anyway. It has to go into the muscle. Like y'all know, y'all women know that Depo-Provera shot, that big deep, that long deep booty shot, that penicillin shot. Y'all know what shot I'm talking about. That's the same shot that actually needs to go in your shoulder for the vitamin B12. And if all you're getting is that little short little needle, that ain't doing nothing anyway. It's going into your sub-Q and not your muscle, so it's not helping you. The actual capsules, tablets, under your tongue, whatever it is that you take liquid, it works the same as the shot. No one is better than the other. And again, it's not benefiting you if you really don't need it, if your levels are not low. So I hope this helps somebody. There's no hate involved. I'm just trying to let y'all know, you eat the meat, throw away the bones. I don't really care what you do, and you do to suit yourself, but just understand it, because that shot probably costs about 25 cents. They charge y'all about $25, right? Yeah, but it probably costs about 25 cents, if that. Depending on how much you buy, but if that. So, just wanted to let you guys know that. And I'm taping from a little bit different today. I'm in my what I call my brown liquor room, and y'all don't need to see it. Y'all don't need to see it. But essentially, sometimes you don't want everybody up in your living quarters. You don't, I live in a townhouse, so you don't want everybody upstairs in your living quarters. Sometimes right here, right at the door. This is enough. We keep a little Sir Davis, up in this room, nice little TV, some Sir Davis, nice, comfortable. You sit right down here and relax. You don't need to go up there. Everything ain't for everybody. But anyway, y'all, I know my schedule was a little bit off this week as far as because of the holidays, as far as dropping videos and recording, but that's okay. Never you mind. We'll be back to regularly scheduled recording for next week, okay? I hope everybody had a safe and a wonderful holiday. I hope you take this video in love. And yeah, bye.